Every word we speak is alive. Words are not empty sounds drifting into the air. They are carriers of energy, creative forces that set things into motion. Many people underestimate the power of what they say, not realizing that their body, their circumstances, and even their future are shaped by the vibrations of their speech. When you say, "I am tired," your body listens and agrees. When you say, "I feel weak," the strength within you dims. But when you boldly declare, "I am strong, I am well, I am overflowing with life," something shifts within your cells, your blood, and your very soul. The universe was spoken into existence by words, and you too create your personal universe by what you choose to speak. The secret is simply, words of fear and limitation produce weakness and disease, while words of faith and life create strength, health, and renewal. Imagine a person who constantly talks about sickness, who names every ache and pain and repeats it daily. Their body, being obedient to the words spoken over it, magnifies those conditions. It is not that the words create illness, but they strengthen the belief in illness until the body has no choice but to reflect it. Now imagine another person who speaks differently. Though they may feel pain, they declare, "I am healing, I am whole, I am renewed every morning." Those words become commands, carrying life into their bloodstream, directing health to flow, and drawing unseen strength into their being. The body cannot resist the authority of a word spoken with faith. It must obey. This is why the language of healing must be chosen carefully. Every complaint, every negative confession, every word of fear, is like a seed planted in the soil of the mind. If watered with repetition, it grows into a reality that one cannot escape. Yet, the same law works for good. When you sow words of life, when you affirm holiness, when you speak faith with conviction, you plant seeds of health that grow and blossom in due season. What you continually declare with your lips, your life will echo. The spoken word is a magnet drawing to you the very essence of what you affirm. Think of a child being told daily, "You are loved, you are strong, you are capable." That child grows into the truth spoken over them. The words become flesh. In the same way, when you speak over yourself, "I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am full of energy," your body listens like that child and grows into the identity you declare. This is not fantasy, this is law. It is the same law that governs the growth of seeds, the rising of the sun, the flow of tides. Words carry life, and life obeys words. Your body is intelligent, but it does not argue. It does not question whether what you speak is true or false. It simply responds. Speak words of defeat, and it bows down. Speak words of triumph, and it rises up. That is why every healing begins first with a change of speech. The power of life and death lies in the tongue, and those who learn to direct it toward life discover the secret of health that surpasses medicine. Even the smallest declaration made with unwavering faith can begin a transformation so profound that others call it miraculous. But to the one who understands the creative power of words, it is no miracle at all. It is simply the natural unfolding of divine law. The human body is more than flesh, blood, and bone. It is a magnificent servant, ever ready to obey the commands of the mind and the words that proceed from the tongue. Too often, people live unaware of this sacred relationship, speaking casually about weakness, pain, or fatigue, and then wondering why their body mirrors those very conditions. The truth is simply the body listens. It listens not only with ears but with every fiber, every cell, every organ. Each word spoken is a command, an instruction that the body cannot ignore. Just as a soldier obeys the orders of a commander without hesitation, the body responds to the authority of your spoken word. When you say, "I am exhausted," your body begins to shut down its reserves. When you declare, "I feel sick," your body aligns itself with illness. Yet when you affirm, "I am strong, I am filled with divine life, I am whole," your body awakens and rises to meet that declaration. This truth has been hidden from many, yet it has always been present, quietly operating like an invisible law. Every organ, every nerve, every heartbeat bends to the power of your words. Consider how people who live in constant complaint of ailments often grow weaker with time, as though their body has faithfully fulfilled the orders spoken over it. On the other hand, there are those who, despite challenges or age, declare daily that they are well, vibrant, and renewed. These individuals seem to draw strength beyond what is expected, living in defiance of limitations because their bodies have become obedient to words of power. The voice has a frequency, a vibration that penetrates beyond the surface. When you speak, you are not merely making sounds, you are releasing waves of energy that touch every part of your being. The cells are listening. The immune system is listening. The heart, lungs, blood, and even the mind respond to the language you use. To say, "I am healed," is to release a vibration of harmony that calls the body into alignment with that statement. It may not shift instantly, but every time those words are spoken with conviction, the body receives the message and begins to adjust. This is why it is so dangerous to speak lightly about sickness, weakness, or decline. Words repeated often enough create an identity, and the body, like a loyal servant, assumes that identity fully. If someone constantly says, "I am always ill, nothing ever changes for me," they unknowingly give orders for their body to remain in that state. The body does not reason, it does not argue, it does not protest. It obeys. But the beauty of this truth is that the same obedience works for your good. Declare daily, "I am alive with energy. My body is a temple of strength. Every cell vibrates with health." And your body will begin to walk in the reality of those words. Think of a garden where seeds are planted. If you plant seeds of weeds, weeds will grow faithfully. If you plant seeds of fruit, the soil obeys just as faithfully. The soil has no preference, it simply produces what is planted. In the same way, your body has no preference, it produces what you command. Your words are the seeds, and your body is the fertile ground. Plant carefully, for whatever you sow will surely grow. There is no greater authority over your body than your own spoken word. Doctors may advise, medicines may support, but the voice that echoes through your being day and night is your own. That voice holds the final command, and your body, with its silent obedience, follows. Therefore, choose words that uplift, heal, strengthen, and bless. Speak to your body as you would speak to a faithful friend, for indeed, it is one. And when you do, you will discover that the body is not your enemy but your ally, ready to respond instantly to the power of the words you release. One of the greatest mistakes people make in the journey of healing is the habit of constantly repeating the problem. They speak about their illness as though it is their name. They recite their symptoms like a creed, and they cling to their suffering as if it were their only identity. Every conversation becomes a testimony of what hurts, what does not work, and what seems impossible. In doing so, they strengthen the very chains they wish to be freed from. What many do not realize is that speaking about the problem again and again gives it power, feeding it like a fire that grows with every word. The more one affirms the sickness, the more real and unshakable it becomes in their mind, and the body, being obedient, follows suit. True healing does not begin with rehearsing the illness, but with declaring the solution. It is not found in saying, "I am sick," but in affirming, "I am well." The shift begins when you stop telling the world how broken you are and begin proclaiming how whole you are becoming. Words are seeds, and the soil of the body grows whatever is planted. If you plant the seed of disease by constantly repeating, "This illness is mine, this condition is permanent," then the soil faithfully produces that reality. But if you sow the seeds of faith by declaring, "My body is aligning with divine perfection, every cell is renewed, healing flows through me now," then you set into motion a process of restoration that no earthly limitation can prevent. The world may tell you it is foolish to speak health when you feel pain, but that is the language of faith. Faith does not wait for proof, it creates the proof. Speaking the solution while the problem still lingers is not denial, it is alignment with a higher truth. When you affirm life, wholeness, and strength in the face of weakness, you are not ignoring reality. You are commanding a new reality into being. Just as a captain does not describe the storm to his sailors but commands the ship to safety, so too must you command your life with words of victory, rather than narrate your struggles. Consider how often people bind themselves by careless speech. They say, "I can't get better. This always happens to me. I'll never recover." Each of these statements is like a decree sealed with authority, and the body must obey. The subconscious mind, ever faithful, begins to construct the reality that matches the words. What you speak over and over becomes the script that life follows. But this law is not against you. It is for you. For just as negative affirmations create bondage, positive declarations create freedom. Every time you speak the language of health, you are breaking chains, rewriting the script, and planting seeds of vitality. Even when progress is not visible, the power of words is working. Just as a seed underground pushes through unseen stages before it breaks the surface, so too does healing unfold quietly before it shows itself openly. Each affirmation of life waters the seed. Each declaration of wholeness nurtures the roots, and in time, what you have spoken consistently manifests as visible health. To stop repeating the problem and start declaring the solution is to shift from being a victim of circumstances to becoming the author of your own healing. It requires courage to let go of the familiar language of pain, for in some way, the illness becomes a companion, a story often told. But once you replace it with the language of faith, the old story loses its grip. The new story takes root, a story of strength, renewal, and wholeness. Speak that story until it becomes the only truth your body knows. Speak it until your cells, your blood, your mind, and your spirit echo in harmony with it. Speak it until life itself bends to fulfill it. Faith is the key that unlocks the invisible realm where true healing is found. It is not blind belief, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the unwavering conviction that what you declare with your lips and believe in your heart must come to pass. Fear speaks the language of defeat, but faith speaks the language of life. Fear says, I am broken, while faith says, I am whole. Fear whispers, this is impossible, while faith proclaims, with the divine, all things are possible. When words are spoken with faith, they carry a power that transcends human understanding, calling forth strength, restoration, and miracles. Every human life is surrounded by forces unseen. Just because you cannot see the wind does not mean it does not move the trees, and just because you cannot see the power of faith does not mean it is not moving through your body, aligning it with health and harmony. Faith is invisible, yet it is the greatest medicine. The body may be tired, the diagnosis may be grim, but when you stand and speak, I am healed, I am free, I am renewed by divine life, you summon a force that no doctor can prescribe and no circumstance can deny. Healing is not the product of doubt, it is the fruit of faith spoken with authority. Many live chained to the evidence of their senses, believing only what they can touch or measure. They say, I will believe I am healed when I see it. But faith works the opposite way. Faith declares the healing before it appears. Faith calls things that are not as though they already are. The body may still feel pain, yet faith affirms, I am free. The report may still show illness, yet faith proclaims, health flows through me. In time, the unseen bathes the seen, and what was once spur of faith becomes a testimony of reality. Think of a gardener who plants a seed. He does not see the flower immediately, but he waters and tends the soil, trusting that beneath the surface, life is already at work. Faith works the same way. Every declaration of health, every affirmation of strength, is water to the seed. Even if the evidence is not yet visible, the power of faith is moving, pushing roots deep, preparing the bloom. Fear digs up the seed to check if it is growing, destroying its chance. But faith leaves the seed, confident that life is unfolding in silence. The invisible power of faith is not weak, it is creative, commanding, irresistible. Mountains move when faith speaks. The body shifts when faith takes authority. Cells remember their divine blueprint and begin to repair when they are commanded by words born of faith. Faith is the medicine of the soul, the force that awakens the healer within. Miracles are not accidents. They are the natural result of words spoken with faith, without doubt, without hesitation. The truth is, every word you speak carries either fear or faith. Fear locks doors, but faith opens them. Fear weakens the body, but faith strengthens it. Fear drains, while faith restores. This is why the language of healing must always be rooted in faith. Speak with certainty, speak with conviction, speak as though the healing is already complete, and it will be drawn into form. The unseen world responds to the voice of faith, and when you stand in it, every part of your being aligns with the health, strength, and wholeness you claim. There is a language that gives life, a language that awakens the body and restores the spirit, and it is found in the words you choose to speak each day. When you declare, I am whole, I am well, I am free, you are not merely reciting pleasant phrases. You are releasing a force that stirs your very cells into action. Every word carries energy, and when that energy is filled with life, it moves through the body like light, touching every organ, every nerve, every fiber of your being. The body is like an orchestra, and words are the conductor's baton. When you speak harmony, the music of health begins to play. When you speak discord, the song is broken, and the body reflects the chaos. The language of life is the music that calls the body back into its perfect rhythm. When you repeat affirmations of strength, your bloodstream carries that message as though it were truth. The mind, which governs so much of the body's function, cannot resist the authority of a word spoken with conviction. It begins to shape reality according to what it hears most often. If you continually tell yourself, I am sick, I am tired, I am weak, then the body assumes that identity. But if you continually affirm, I am renewed, I am vibrant, I am filled with divine energy, your body adjusts itself to fulfill those words. It is not the repetition of the old story that brings healing, but the creation of a new story written with words of power. This is not fantasy, it is law. The law of life responds to the spoken word. Just as gravity never fails to pull downward, so too do affirmations never fail to create the vibration they carry. Even when the shift is not seen instantly, the work begins the moment the words are released. Each declaration of life plants a seed. Each affirmation waters the soil. Each statement of wholeness strengthens the unseen roots of health until they burst into visible form. When you affirm, every cell in my body vibrates with divine perfection, you are not imagining. It is a command, and the body listens. Too often, people give their power to the language of decay. They talk about age as though it must mean decline. They speak of illness as though it must mean permanence, and they confess limitations as though they are unchangeable. But the truth is that every day, life offers renewal. The body is made to regenerate, to rebuild, to heal itself when given the right instruction. Words are that instruction. They are the signals that tell the body what to become. If you say, I am breaking down, the body hears and agrees. If you say, I am being rebuilt, I am stronger each day, my body is a temple of health, then the body, faithful to the word, begins to align itself with that command. Think of how a seed, no matter how small, holds the power of a mighty tree. In the same way, a single word of life holds within it the power of transformation. It may not look significant at first, but with faith and repetition, the energy grows until it manifests visibly. Speak the language of life daily, and you will find your body transforming, your mind renewing, your spirit strengthening. Words like, I am whole, I am free, I am alive with energy, are not empty, they are keys that unlock doors to new vitality. The life force within you responds to them, flows through you, and restores what seemed lost. Your body is not a stranger to healing. It is designed for it. The cells know how to repair. The blood knows how to cleanse. The spirit knows how to guide. All that is needed is the language that awakens this natural intelligence. The language of life, spoken with conviction, becomes the spark that ignites renewal. It turns weakness into strength, disease into vitality, despair into hope. Every word of life you speak creates a ripple that moves through you and beyond you, blessing not only your own body, but also the atmosphere around you. The more you affirm life, the more life answers back. Healing is not a distant dream waiting somewhere far away. It begins in this very moment with the words you choose to speak. Too often, people imagine that restoration is something they must chase, something hidden behind doors that only others can open for them. Yet the truth is simpler and more profound. Healing begins the instant you speak it into existence. When you declare, I am whole, I am healed, I am strong, you plant a seed that no circumstance can deny. Each word spoken in faith is a key that unlocks a door, a spark that ignites a fire, a command that sets invisible forces in motion. The body does not resist the authority of a spoken word, it accepts it as truth. Whether that truth is life, giving or destructive depends entirely on the language chosen. Those who say, I will never recover, I am always sick, unknowingly order their bodies to obey those words. But those who stand in faith and declare, health is mine now, strength is rising in me, life flows through every part of me, awaken the healing current that has always been within them. The body, like a faithful servant, rushes to fulfill the command of faith-filled speech. This is not to say that one should ignore symptoms or pretend reality does not exist. It is to say that there is a higher reality than what the senses report. Pain may whisper, but your words shout louder. Fear may try to linger, but your declaration of faith drives it away. The invisible world responds to words, and as soon as you align your speech with health, the healing process begins. It may not appear instantly, but like the dawn slowly breaking after the night, the light of renewal grows stronger with each affirmation. Every day presents a new opportunity to speak life. The morning is a sacred time to command the day, to speak to your body and your circumstances. Imagine rising and saying, today I walk in health, today I shine with strength, today I overflow with energy and peace. Those words are not idle. They travel through your subconscious mind, into your cells, into your atmosphere, drawing experiences and conditions that align with them. The universe bends to the authority of words spoken with conviction. Healing is not something you wait for passively, it is something you create actively, by declaring it into being. Consider how often people unknowingly curse themselves with careless speech. They say, this pain will never leave, I am too old to heal, I am too weak to change. Each word is like a stone, building walls around their own freedom, yet the same law that imprisons can liberate. Replace those words with, this pain is dissolving, my body is ageless in spirit, I am stronger today than yesterday, and suddenly, the walls begin to fall. The law of words is impartial, it creates according to what is spoken. Therefore, you hold the key at every moment. Healing words are not just for the body, they touch the mind and spirit as well. When you declare peace, your thoughts begin to calm. When you declare joy, your emotions begin to rise. When you declare love, your relationships begin to flourish. Words are not limited in their power. They carry vibrations that reach every part of existence. Speak to your body, yes, but also speak to your life. Declare health in your finances, strength in your relationships, renewal in your dreams. The same law governs all. What you declare consistently must eventually manifest. So speak boldly. Speak as though your healing is already here, because in truth, it is. Every time you say, I am whole, you align with a deeper reality that is unshakable. Every time you affirm, I am free, You break invisible chains. Every time you proclaim, "I am healed," you call life itself to stand with you. Healing is not waiting on time, it is waiting on your word. And the moment you release that word in faith, the miracle begins.